Hey guys, welcome to the College Predictor, and it's the big game, the last college football game of the 2023/2024 season. Number one Michigan, 14-0, Big Ten champions, Rose Bowl champions, taking on 14-0, the Huskies out of Washington, 14-0, Pac-12 champions, Sugar Bowl champions. Now, I have Texas and Alabama footballs in the back to congratulate them on a great season. Both teams had a great run. Both most likely deserved to get in the playoffs. I'm just kidding. Get out of here, Alabama. Florida State should have been in. That's why they're on the screen now. Alabama, you're frauds. Anyways, back to focus on this game. Let's first talk about the history of these two teams. These two teams have not played many times. It's only the 14th meeting in history. And Michigan currently leads the series 8 wins to 5 losses. Their last meeting was in 2021, where Michigan won 31-10 in a rather unentertaining game based off score. Now, some facts about Washington is they have a lot of award winners and a lot of award finalists. For example, Michael Penix won the Outstanding Player, known as the Maxwell Award, and he also came runner-up for the Heisman Trophy behind Jaden Daniels, who we already know had an unbelievable season. The Lott Impact Trophy, the most outstanding defensive player, went to Michigan's Junior Colson, the linebacker. He's been a difference maker all year, and he is going to need a great game if they want to take on the Huskies offense. Now, we are seeing the number one offense, number one passing game, a very solid running game, taking on the number one defense. And this is just, you can't ask for a better matchup in the end for the last year of the 14 playoffs. And also, if you think about this next year, this could very well be the conference championship for the Big Ten next year. So, these teams, this is a must-win game for them, obviously. Michigan the last 2 years couldn't get over the hump. They've lost to Georgia. They've lost to TCU. They finally beat Alabama in the semifinal. And now they're here against Washington. Washington's second college football appearance since the 14 playoff. And the top story for Washington is, in the last game, their starting running back, superstar Dylan Johnson, was injured on his foot injury against Texas, and he's expected to push through the injury and participate in this game. Now, Michigan already had one of the best run defenses in the league. They stopped Jason McCullough besides those 2 touchdowns. With an injured running back, even if he's really good, Michigan's going to have the advantage on the offense, on the D-line. But mind you, Washington did get the award for best offensive line in the country. So that line of scrimmage battle is going to be an unbelievable story, an unbelievable part of this game to watch. Obviously, it's in Houston, Texas, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, ESPN main broadcast. Michigan's 22-29 all-time in bowls. Washington's 19-1. Michigan has 9 national championships, 1901, 1902, 1903, 1904, 1918, 1923, 1933, 1948, 1997, and Washington only has 1 in 1991. Michigan is a favorite in this game. They're a 4-point favorite. 5.5, it went up the last time I checked. This should be like if you like offense versus defense, this is the game you want to watch. And the key in this game is Michigan has to do enough to score. We saw them struggle to score against Bama, and I do think Bama's defense is better than Washington's, but McCarthy has to play good. He has to not be scared to make throws, but also don't force anything, because a turnover could end the game just like that. You have to use Blake Corum a lot behind that super talented offensive line. Mind you, no Zach Zinter, the All-American, has been injured for not the whole year, but the end of the year, and he's not going to be participating in this game. So Blake Corum, just like he did against Bama, has to carry his team. But also, Roman Wilson and Colston Loveland, they were good, but not outstanding in the win against Alabama. They need to use their playmakers out wide out and at tight end more. Also, their defense needs to show out. They have great DBs, and Mike Sanderstill, Rod Moore, linebacker Junior Colson, defensive lineman Mason Graham. They have a bunch of dogs on their defense. They need to show out. The question is, will they go zone against Adunze, Polk, and McMillan, not to mention Westover, the former walk-on? Or will they trust their DBs to go man-to-man? They've been doing man all year. It's been working. They've locked up Marvin Harrison. They've locked up Isaiah Bond. They've locked up Keandre Lambert-Smith. Every receiver, they've locked up Ricky White. Every wide receiver they've played, they've dealt with. And I think they have to stick with that strategy since it's been working. Key players for them, I just said, McCarthy, Corum, Loveland, Wilson, Colson at linebacker, Mike Sandershow, Rod Moore at DB, and Mason Graham at DN. Washington, on the other hand, their key players, obviously Michael Penix, who's had an incredible year, 4,648 yards, 35 touchdowns, and 9 picks. And backup running backs, since Dylan Johnson is not going to be 100%, Dylan Johnson's had a great year. 1,162 yards and 16 touchdowns. But backups, Will Nixon, who has done nothing this year, and Tybo Rogers, they're going to have to be ready to play if Dylan Johnson gets worsely injured. Obviously, they have the best receivers, 3, maybe even 4 with Bernard, in addition to Odunze, Polk, and McMillan. They have a great kicker. On defense, their superstars are Braylon Triance, Zion Tuilopo Fiuti. Those two on the edge rushers, they're going to have to put pressure on McCarthy if Washington wants to win this game. They both had shootouts in the semifinals, barely escaping. Michigan, obviously, in overtime by 7, the 4th and 3 stand on the quarterback draw. And Washington, they almost blew it because a player got hurt and catch interference call gave Texas 4 tries from the 15-yard line. Luckily, their defense stood, got him into the championship game. So both these teams are coming off really close wins. So they're going to be a little bit, they're not going to expect anything from this game. They have to play like there's no tomorrow. Because if they go in this game thinking they'll win, they're going to get destroyed. And I will say for a fact, this game should be a little bit better than last year's TCU and Georgia. Now, if we look at key wins for Michigan, they have not played anyone too significant outside of Bama, Ohio State, and Penn State. Their next best teams were Iowa and Maryland. Meanwhile, Washington, this kind of scares me. They have played a lot of ranked teams. They beat Oregon twice, obviously Texas, at USC versus Utah. The problem is only Oregon and Oregon State are the regular season opponents that are still ranked. And not to mention, they only beat Arizona State by 8, and they only got 15 points. The best offense got 15 points in that game. But they've been blowing out teams they've had to. They've blown out Tulsa, Boise State, Michigan State. They take care of business when they need to impress. Now, this game, I think this game could be the best of the year. This may beat the semifinal game. This could beat the Oklahoma game, Oklahoma-Texas. This could also potentially beat the SEC championship. I think it'll be really close. And I do like the defense of Michigan a little bit more than the Washington offense. Regardless, this game's going to be a shootout. One unit of their team is going to have to carry the whole time. And I think, you know what the saying is, defense wins championships. Michigan, 5.5-point favorites. Give me the Wolverines to win the national championship after being stuck behind Ohio State and Penn State and Georgia and even TCU. Give me the Michigan Wolverines as a 5.5-point favorite to win the national championship in Houston, Texas by 3. It should be a great game. Michigan wins the first title since 1997. Go Big Blue. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, I know I've been a college football only channel. I will be making the NFL playoff picks. I'll be doing hockey picks. I'll do MLB picks. And I'm going to make a lot of draft content. So this isn't the end of the line. I can't wait till next year's college football season. But until then, enjoy the NFL, enjoy this game, and I'll see you later.